Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So we'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay. आज कोई anybody would like to sing today our prayer for this week? Shikshashtakam. Try to share the screen also. Post the link in the chat.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can sing.
Yes, good.
चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्नि निर्वापणं श्रेयाकेरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतं स्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्तपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्ममापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् इह जनानिनुराग तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुनाम् अमानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि ना धनं ना जनं ना सुन्दरं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दातनुजा किङ्करं पततां मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकेर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पातरतां विनष्टु माम् अदृशान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापर प्रभुराशिष्टाष्टकश्लोकाजयी बढ़े शूने कृष्ण प्रेम भक्ति तारा बढ़े दीने दीने हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। शिष्टाष्टकम की जय। श्री कृष्णदास कविराज महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्णा। कोटि कोटि
Hare,
प्रणाम प्रभु जी। नंद कुमार प्रभु की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody can read the translation?
Yeah,
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Go.
Shriya. You can go ahead, Shriya Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nand Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain. So even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. If anyone recites or hears these 8 verses of instruction by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his ecstatic love and devotion for Krishna increase day by day. Remarks. Do you want me to read the remarks, Prabhu?
Yes, you can go ahead, Mataji.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his disciples to write books on the science of Krishna, a task which his followers have continued to carry out down to the present day. The elaborations and expositions on the philosophy taught by Lord Chaitanya are, in fact, the most voluminous, exacting, and consistent due to the system of disciplic succession. Although Lord Chaitanya was widely renowned as a scholar in his youth, one of his favorite doctrines he left behind was the Shikshashtaka. These 8 verses clearly reveal his mission and precepts. These supremely valuable prayers are translated herein. The Chaitanya Charitamrita had these prayers in here in chapter 20 in the Antilila. The verses are shown in the official name field of this page. The gaps between verses are the purports by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And verses 1 through 8 are the actual Shikshashtakam verses in Sanskrit. The final verse is in Bengali. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Meenakshi Mohini and Shri Mataji. Yeah, like we were reading, the final verses, which is the Falashruti, right, which says that whoever reads this, whoever recites these verses, Shikshashtakam, their love, Krishna Prema, slowly arises in the heart. Like we were reading in the first stanza, first verse, it says, this Harinam Sankirtan increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. So in our hearts, we have so many anarthas. You can compare those to like an ocean of anarthas that we have. But with gradual chanting, the ocean of transcendental bliss takes over. Just like when the sun rises and all the darkness goes away, all the bad things go away, right? Like the rogues, thieves, they all run away. The rats and everything. Like so, we can compare our anarthas to those. All the nocturnal animals and beasts and all of them run away when the sun rises. So similarly, the anarthas in our heart slowly go away as we continuously chant the holy names. And these 8 stanzas, 8 verses, 8 instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also our acharyas say they correlate with the stages of advancement of bhakti, right? So like we have from Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Bhajan Kriya. So when we do these 3 things, then Anartha Nivritti, the eradication of the anarthas start happening in our heart. So these 8 instructions, 8 verses also, when we start chanting, like it is like the anartha nivritti starts happening first. And then as we go, like the first 3 verses where you're chanting, Anartha Nivrati is happening. And then as we go into 4th, 5th verse, we are steadily starting to increase our nishtha, determination, our ruchi, which is our attachment to the holy name, our taste towards the holy name, and asakti is the attachment. So that is verses 4, 5. And then 6 and 7, we start developing bhava. It's more like we are relishing this and it's becoming spontaneous, like we want to chant the holy names more and more. And finally, the 8th verse, we are able to develop the prema, which is the highest stage. And that is what the Falshruti is, that as we chant these verses every day, our stage of bhakti also gradually increases from Anartha Nivrati all the way up to prema. So that is the mercy, or that is the benediction that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us just from these 8 instructions. Okay, so with that, we'll continue our reading of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Anybody would like to read today? Continuing from chapter 11, where we left off yesterday, Srila Prabhupada has finally met Srimati Sumati Morarji, who has kindly consented to help him in printing his volume 3. Volume 3 is the last book that Srila Prabhupada is trying to publish, which will complete Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are continuing from this paragraph. Janmashtami was drawing near.
I can continue, Prabhu.
Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
Janmashtami was drawing near, and Bhakti Vedanta Swami was planning a celebration at the Radha Damodara temple. He wanted to invite Vishwanath Das, the governor of Uttar Pradesh, to preside over the ceremony honoring Lord Krishna's appearance. Sri Vishwanath had received a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam Volume 1 and had written a favorable review. Although a politician, he was known for his affection and respect for sadhus. He regularly invited recognized sadhus to his home, and once a year he would visit all the important temples of Mathura and Vrindavan. Bhaktivedanta Swami asked Vrindavan's municipal president, Mangalal Sarma, to invite the governor to the Janmashtami celebration at Radha Damodar temple. The governor readily accepted the invitation. Bhaktivedanta Swami printed a flyer announcing, can you scroll down, bro? Announcing on the occasion of Janmashtami ceremony at the Samadhi ground of Srila Rupa and Jiva Goswami. Sri Sri Radha Damodar Temple, Seva Kunj, Vrindavan, Gaudiya Kirtan performance in the presence of His Excellency Sri Vishwanath Das, Governor of Uttar Pradesh, and the Chief Guest Sri G.T. Somani of Bombay, Trustee of Sri Raghunathji Temple, Vrindavan, dated at Vrindavan, Sunday, 31st of 1964, 7:32 30 p.m. Okay, the flyer contained an advertisement for the Srimad Bhagavatam series to be completed in 60 volumes. Bhajanas to be sung on the occasion: Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Nitai Padakamla, the prayers of the 6 Goswami, and the other favorite songs of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas were printed in the Bengali as a songbook. The program was successful. A large crowd attended and sang songs to Lord Krishna and took prasadam. Bhaktivedanta Swami lectured on a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, described the age of Kali as an ocean of faults that had but one saving quality, the chanting of Hare Krishna. After leading Hare Krishna Kirtana, Bhaktivedanta Swami presented a copy of his 2nd volume of Srimad Bhagavatam to the governor and spoke of his plans to preach all over the world. The day after Janmashtami was Bhaktivedanta Swami's 69th birthday. Few days later, Vishwanath Das requested Swami Maharaja to visit him at his mansion in Lucknow. It was a special occasion, and the governor had invited several sadhus and planned a kirtana program. He had invited a professional musical group who toured India performing kirtanas and giving recitals. One of the musicians, young Sisir Kumar Bhattacharya, was very impressed with Bhaktivedanta Swami. Sisir Bhattacharya, we were invited to perform kirtana in the governor's house in Lucknow. We had about 7 or 8 in our group. This was the governor's house, a big home, and I was sitting on a dais. I saw the governor, Vishwanath Das. Besides him was a sadhu, was old, but I thought was really strong. When I saw the governor sitting there, I came down from the dais and bowed down. When I asked which subject he wanted to listen to, he said, "Let's have something about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Then I said, "I am very glad you selected this." About 1.5 hour we spent on Mahaprabhu's Kirtana, and then we had our dinner in a big banquet hall on all silver plates with the governor's symbols on each of them. We sat together, and I was sitting side by side with the same sadhu, and he introduced himself as Bhaktivedanta Swami. We discussed, and then Swami presented me with a book, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktivedanta Swami said, "I am interested to propagate Krishna Nama and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western countries. I am trying to get some way to find some ticket. If I get, I will go and I will propagate Mahaprabhu's teachings." And he uttered this verse from Mahaprabhu. Prithvi Vite Ache Yata Nagaradi Grama Sarvatra Prachara Haiva Moro Nama. But I did not think he would actually be able to do it because he was very simple and poor. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted one day my name will be known in every town and village in the world. With manuscript of volume 3 complete with the money to print it, Bhaktivedanta Swami once again entered the printing world, purchasing paper, correcting proofs, and keeping printer on schedule so that book would be finished by January 1965. Thus, by his resistance, he, who had almost no money of his own, managed to publish his third large hardbound volume within a little more than 2 years. At this rate, with his respect in the scholarly world increasing, he might soon become a recognized figure amongst his countrymen. But he had his vision set on the West, and with the third volume now printed, he felt he was at last prepared. He was 69 and would have to go soon. It had been more than 40 years since Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had first asked a young householder in Calcutta to teach Krishna consciousness in the West. At first, it had seemed impossible to Abhay Charan, who had so recently entered family responsibility. That obstacle, however, had long ago been removed. And more than 10 years, he had been free to travel, but he had been um, penniless and still was penniless, and he had wanted first to publish some volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam to take with him. It had seemed necessary if he were to do something solid. Now, by Krishna's grace, 3 volumes were on hand. Srila Prabhupada, I planned that I must go to America. Generally, they go to London, but I did not want to go to London. I was simply thinking how to go to New York. I was skimming whether I shall go to the way through Tokyo, Japan, or the way, or that way. Which way is cheaper? That was my proposal, and I was targeting to New York always. Sometimes I was dreaming that I have to come to New York. One minute, bro. I lost the screen. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, true. Go ahead.
Okay. Then Bhaktivedanta Swami met Mr. Agrawal, a Mathura businessman, and mentioned to him in passing, as he did to almost everyone he met, that he wanted to go to the West. Although Mr. Agrawal had known Bhaktivedanta Swami for only a few minutes, he volunteered to try to get him a sponsor in America. It was something Mr. Agrawal had done a number of times. When he met a sadhu who mentioned something about going abroad to teach Hindu culture, he would ask his son Gopal, an engineer in Pennsylvania, to send back a sponsor form. When Mr. Agrawal volunteered to help in this way, Bhaktivedanta Swami urged him, please to do so. Srila Prabhupada, I did not say anything seriously to Mr. Agrawal, but perhaps he took it very seriously. I asked him, well, why don't you ask your son Gopal to sponsor so that I can go there? I want to preach there.
Okay.
But
Yes, we'll pause here.
okay.
Krishna Prabhu. Yes, any reflections from today's reading?
Yeah, bro, that vision was to spread the names, Kirtan and Sri Chaitanya, holy name, and Hare Krishna, holy name. That was the vision, but another vision is like how he's willing to spread this in Western, like in New York. So that is the next step he was thinking at that time. So one after another, you know. Yeah. What else?
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, when the vision is there, and that is your one pointed focus and goal, then everything else around it starts kind of happening, right? So here we see how, yesterday he had met the vice president, the prime minister. Today, he had invited the governor of Uttar Pradesh for the Janmashtami festival. Prabhupada was now already 69 years of age. Right? But yeah, everywhere we see like favorable signs, right? He's meeting influential people, young people are getting inspired. It's just his mood and his preaching in every event is about the holy teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Chanting the Mahamantra, distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. And yeah, here we see finally he's reaching a point where he already met Sumati Morarji, who was the one who actually, well, we'll see in the future, the one whose sponsor has or kind of give him the ticket to go on the famous cargo liner Jaladuta. And now here we are seeing that he's meeting Mr. Agarwal and his son Gopal, who's in Pennsylvania. That is where Srila Prabhupada will eventually come in the US. So yeah, everything like Krishna is paving the way slowly and slowly. But how Srila Prabhupada was able to remembering, he was saying that he was planning whether he'll go this way or that way, whether to Tokyo or Japan, because originally he had been invited to come to Japan, but that didn't happen. But now, yeah, he's thinking whether to go through east direction or through west direction, whichever is cheaper. because he was given that assurance by that secretary of Sumati Morarji earlier that he will sponsor half of his fare. So like, yeah, his meditation was, how can I reach there, and how can I reach there? And of course, he was penniless. He didn't have any money for himself, so he was trying to raise the money, and whichever is the cheaper way. I think that is what his meditation was, and how can I go there? And he was not thinking of just going to London. His always goal was to reach New York. So yeah, it's wonderful to see all these signs that Krishna is reciprocating with his pure devotee. Thank you, Nalan Prabhu. Anything else from anybody?
Yeah, without financial full support, but still he is having a vision and crossing one by one milestones.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice reading again. It's a very nice section again that Srila Prabhupada, yes, he didn't had any money, but he didn't see that money that he had was his money. He always thought was Krishna money, and he never wanted to waste not even a single penny of it. So in that way, he always used it to carry out his instruction of his spiritual master to print books and try to go to the West in terms of this is his goal. And like that, I was sitting out here this morning, sun was rising, and you can see just before the sunrise, the ray come up. Made me think about this when I was think that Krishna, just a ray of Krishna, just a single ray, how bright it can be, right, from the sun. Similarly, just one person like Srila Prabhupada, what the influence that he have, that now the whole world has been influenced by that, and this Krishna conscious movement is going on at this point all over. He did his part. That it shows that Krishna shows that if we're willing, he will give us the facility and the tool that we needed. His goal was New York to come to preach. Our goal is to go back to Goloka or wherever Krishna wants us to go. That's the point, that if we set our goals, mind on the goal, Srila Prabhupada is teaching us that nothing is impossible, that we can accomplish that. So that's my little reflection on this part that I heard this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, I can hear the birds chirping in the background. Here, it almost feels like you are in Vrindavan, in the Radha Damodar temple.
Well, I'm listening to you guys, so it's like Vrindavan, so wherever speaking, so.
जहाँ पेड़ पक्षी भी गाएं. Yes, everybody is singing in the background. जहाँ से राधा नाम सुन पाएं. Yes. But yeah, like you rightly, like the analogy that you gave, yeah, with one ray of the sun, it's the sun rising, and similarly the sun rises in the heart when we have sincerity and purity and dedication towards the instructions of our Guru, Varga, Srila Prabhupada. And so, yeah, when that sun rises, and like I said, slowly the anarthas go away. And yeah, the purity is what attracts, right? Because Krishna is all attractive, and when bhakti develops stage by stage, then the purity increases, the attraction of bhakti increases. And here we see like how people are being attracted, like that young singer, he was saying that he was attracted to the sadhu when he saw him at the governor's home. And yeah, as that happens, then like there is no scarcity of resources. That's what I was trying to say. Like Srila Prabhupada, because of purity of the sadhana, when we do, if our sadhana is pure and our intention is pure, then we don't have to be afraid that there will be any lack of resources. Resources will come. They'll come from all directions. It is just that, yeah, we have to sincerely practice. Yes. Thank you, Vishwanath Prabhu. Anybody else like to share anything? Meenu Mataji.
Ji Prabhuji is still on listening mode under the weather, but great reflections and the journey itself, now he's about to embark on the journey on Jaladuta. And what a journey to go. It takes a courage to go across the city for him to be able to cross the oceans without anything, just cases of books, boxes of books with him. Uh, it just exemplifies that how divine or what his vision and how clear he was with his vision, that nothing else mattered to him. How focused he is. Wish we could bring a little bit of focus in our lives like that. Maybe 1%. I think we should be on a great path if we are able to do that. So I'm just mesmerized by this whole thing. So his journey, his vision, the way he's trying to accomplish, and on top of it, a great mind to convert. I think anything he touched turned into gold. After a while, he initially struggled, and then Krishna see the struggle, and then he bestows you with his bestest choices, mercy and blessing. So that is we are just about to see. So but it is good to see the struggle as well, to read about it, because it does encourages you and inspires you. So that's my reflection from today. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, very rightly said, Mataji. Yes, that is very true. Krishna inspires so for all future generations to see, right, like the struggles that he went through, and that is what made this even more special, right? Because if everything was rosy, then you'll say, oh yeah, yeah, Krishna is helping his devotees. But despite the struggles, he persisted, and that is what shows the true nature of a devotee, that no matter what may come, they will not leave the lotus feet of the Lord, the service of the Lord, right? And that inspires, that gives us more encouragement. And thank you, and to you and everybody who's working day and night for this other event that we are trying to do, where we are inviting Srimati Hema Malini ji for our fundraiser here in Cincinnati. And again, we can see similar to kind of drawing parallels to how all these influential people are being attracted to Srila Prabhupada and his movement. And we can see even today, after 50, 60 years, how still all the influential people want to help, right? And hopefully, this will be a pivotal event, and we'll be able to we'll be able to connect more souls in the city to the movement. So I know we have a couple of months remaining, but yeah, I think my mind went there that we should now put in our efforts to make that a success. Thank you so much for volunteering and leading that effort. Okay. Thank you, everybody, again. So we'll wrap up here for today. Let's conclude with Vaishnava Pranam prayers. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.